Right, welcome to Karelia. We will start off with North, as we normally do. I have not done all the tanks yet. Excuse me. Right, anyway, here is North. This strat is probably more if you have a fast lineup. Well, you need like 4 fast tanks for it, really. Obviously, going south. This strat you could also bring 5 if, I don't know, for some reason you're worried that they are coming south. It is kind of up to you. Normally 4 is enough because a lot of people are, well, most people are just playing full north on this map or some kind of like sit in base or some split, so normally 4 is definitely more than enough. But anyway, the idea is obviously you're going south with 4 tanks, double medium and double heavy. So you could technically, if you have like a lot of 260s and double fast medium, you could do this instead. Yeah, and the idea is, I mean, this guy can either be here or you can be here. And the idea is basically you're spotting this cross. It's not a straight line. You're spotting this cross, or this position, you spot this cross. Either one is technically fine. This one's a little more risky, I guess, if maybe they have an EBR in mid and they're aiming from base or something. But technically you could be here. Let's say for this one you're here. Yeah, so you spot them if they come north. Afterwards you can just run away to like here if you want, or you can stay here maybe, but I wouldn't recommend it because they will probably just push over to like this and probably kill you, so I'd just run to like here. You have this guy that is covering, for any pushes or anything, or maybe you spot something in the mid. You have this guy going straight to this. This is after the CS leaves, you are basically spotting this rotation. You also spot this rotation, and you can sometimes see some people are peeking on the top. So yeah, that's basically everything. You see all rotations in the north if they go north. In which case, if they are north, you just keep on pushing with everything. You could maybe leave one, like you could maybe leave your medium tank on the hill. It kind of depends on how much you see north. Obviously, if you see, I don't know, you see a lot of their team continuing up to here, then you know how much is going to be possibly in the back, and you can send how much accordingly, right? But if you see them coming back, you might need to send the medium tank to help, and maybe this medium tank also comes to help. But you can come here and shoot them in the back. It really depends on how far you think they're gonna get. If you can stop them here, you can shoot them in the back from here, and they're forced to push into you. But anyway, let's say they've just sat in the north and they've done nothing. They've just sat here. Maybe they put a bit of cap pressure on. Obviously, from this side, from their side, there's not really where safe to cap other than like here. But like since you get this position, you should be able to shoot it. And if not, you have this guy as well. So you just need to spot it basically, and you can get a reset whenever. After that, you just start coming kind of closer anyway. And you just start to like put pressure. Obviously, if they're extended in any of these rocks, you will eventually find an angle to kill them. If they're here, you can eventually will kill them. They can't sit here, they can't go on this rock, they can't go here. So they're kind of trapped in this area. In which case, you then just send your guy into the cap. He is pretty safe there. You can only really put one, but it depends. Like if there's nothing here anymore, you can then put a guy here and start creeping up. I mean, this guy will come closer as well. And now you can just put cap pressure on. They're forced to like probably just peek this, in which case you probably can just send your medium tank a bit closer with your heavy tank and stop this like peek happening on this guy. For you can punish them for doing that. You have basically hopefully 3 guns aimed for it, so they can't really peek there. If they want to peek here, then like this rock obstructs it. They can't reset this guy or this guy, and they have to peek all the way to here or yellow like this. And you should hopefully just put enough pressure on them that they have to yellow in and die, basically. So yeah, that's it. If they go north, let's say they do some like mid, like very passive opening, like everything here, a light tank in mid. Maybe one south to spot what's coming. In most cases, hopefully this guy's an IS-7, or like a 277 or something with like a Russian heavy, basically, or maybe a Chinese one, where hopefully he should be fine-ish. getting here. If he gets spotted, he can just duck into this. If it's like really bad timing and he's like crossing on this outside, and he might get clapped a little bit, but hopefully it's okay. But sometimes you might just lose that guy if they're like perfectly countered. But yeah, that is just unlucky if they do. But if it's an I7, he probably will live unless they have like, I don't know, double Hori or something, because shooting an I7 is kind of hard. So yeah, they're all just sitting in base. Afterwards, you obviously will know that after this guy tells you that they're all shooting. Then you probably want to you can take the hill, probably. Most likely, I mean, it kind of depends really, I guess, but you probably will then put cap pressure on. It obviously depends on how much they have in the north. They might open like with one here, maybe one, two, rest here with one mid or something like this. But if they have nothing in the north, you can just start capping here. This guy, if he can go to the cap, might go to the cap. If not, he can just sit here in the hole and see what he sees. He might just be able to peek up here and see if he sees anything. This guy will probably go either to here or in the cap. And you just basically watch this repush. You can see if anything's coming. If they repush the hill, you can just punish them and then drop off. And you should be in a pretty good place at that point. Because if they're pressuring the hill, then they are on a timer of resetting the cap, and they basically can't reset from the hill because of this position, so they either need to go all the way around here, which they shouldn't be able to, which they, in case they have like insane foresight, I guess, with like pushing this and sending their CS fastest tank straight to here, but you might have a tank that goes under, but I doubt anyone goes like this. They'll probably just YOLO like this because they're very much on a timer. I can't remember how long it takes to cap in this mode, but maybe a minute 40, I think. So by the time they push this hill, it's probably been like 40 seconds, so they don't really have that much a long time to try and spot this guy. If, they're more set up heavily, like, I don't know, 2 people here, then they might just pressure this out again, but yeah, I mean, you hopefully should just shoot them, and as soon as you see them, you can just take back their base if you want, and just fall back with these people. And you're chilling again. You're basically going back to the first reaction I showed of them going full north, right? You can just like go back to here, and probably like here, you can leave a CS on the hill, and you can join their base with 3. Obviously, if they have a guy in mid, then it is quite difficult. If they have a light tank that is just sitting there the entire time, you might eventually just get tired of it and just YOLO one of your medium tanks through. If they're on this rotation, and they're like up to here, then if you have the timing, you might push her out. But yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, if they come south, it depends obviously on how much they come south with. If they come south with more than you, like let's say they bring 5 or 6, yeah, it will be difficult. It depends definitely on what tanks they're bringing and what tanks you're bringing. Ideally, you have this as a CS more than, or hopefully, so you can get to the corner first and spot this corner for your team before your heavy tanks arrive. And if if heavy tanks are faster, they can run off the hill. If they're slower, then they can just sit here and try and fall back. If you somehow do see them all coming, then I would just run from this again back to here with like 2, probably 3, maybe. This guy goes here, and then you just eventually go back into this camp. This guy will have to leave if they get hill control, because you are not safe here anymore. So if you can't run like this with this tank, you'll have to run like this and go up north. And you just put 2 in the cap and you pressure them, do something. They might, I don't know, if they have a guy here, you might just come to here with this guy and challenge him. If they have like, I mean, they can't have 2 there. They would have like max 1 if they're pushing this with 6. And yeah, it's risky to do that because you might just push pressure onto this guy if you see 6 tanks this way. If they have like 5-2, then it becomes a bit more difficult. They can't really push your base. More than likely, you know, if you can get one of the heavy tanks up to here instead of the medium tank, so the medium tank can rotate, then I would do that. So, you know, you can have 4 in the north, and now you can like start to come a bit further under the hill after you realize that they're not pushing straight 0 line. But yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, I mean, if they come with equal numbers, then it just becomes a fight of who has the faster tanks or whatever. So yeah, on to the next strat. Right, welcome to the second strat. This is more probably if you have a more slower lineup, really. You know that you can't send 4 tanks south. You'll be probably most likely forced to go full north, really. But yeah, the same kind of ideas apply. You can either go here or here with your medium tank to spot whatever is crossing north. They will most likely send a tank here to spot your cross. You will probably get spotted on the cross. You know, if they come, if the CS spots them all coming north, then this heavy tank keeps on going. If you don't, you can just sit in the cap with that heavy. Yeah, and if they don't come north like at all, or yeah, maybe they put the tank here, you will send. I mean, anytime they have a guy here, you should just send 2 to this rock, and they're forced to probably play on the back of this instead of inside this, and they can no longer spot this cross. At the same time, you should just leave with at least double heavy, probably the CS, and I mean, it really depends really on how much they have north. I would probably keep your medium tank in up in B2 in case they repush this side. But yeah, it really kind of depends on where you how they're set up. You know, if they're very defensive on this side, you probably are knowing that they're just going to push through south. Um, But you do need to be careful on like this repush happening and you not seeing it. So you might just send like your medium tank here to see it while these 2 guys are here trying to kill this guy. You have cap pressure on. They can't really reset from anywhere apart from your base. That's why you're sending 3 tanks up to the back. You know, if you think, I don't know, they're full sending it, then you just sit up here. You can even, like, if you for some reason like you see nothing coming north close at all, you can probably just put 2 in the cap. 1 guy here still. I mean, it's really, if you see nothing, I would probably just go back with 4 tanks, really, and just put double cap pressure on 1 guy here. Because they can't reset this angle apart from over here, I think, and they might have a shot from like all the way out here, I think. But like if they're sitting here, you shoot them back, right? Or they're just having to pressure into the cap, and you have decent crossfire, and they're pressuring into 4 tanks, so they don't have enough time to come here to get a reset on you. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of it really for this strat. It's pretty simple. Obviously, these tanks in the north should be the slower tanks that you have in your lineup, and the ones going back are the faster ones, right? So they can come back into the fight if for some reason they like repush the north. There, you just need to see on how much they are sending north close, and guess how many you will need just to delay them enough. It can be like -1 tank. You know, if you think they're sending 4 tanks into your base, I would just send 3, because I mean you should get a shot here probably. You get a shot here before they come up, and they can't push you, and like you should kill a tank before they get up to you. So it's a 3v3. But yeah, that's pretty simple. Obviously, if they come north, you just have a fight in A1. I can't really say any specifics. You probably just want to play a side. You just choose. Normally, I think people are playing lower side. I know like high ground, best ground, but I think what you would like them to do, obviously you have 5 tanks here, you leave like a guy on the top side. The CS will then come in, you know, like this if they have nothing here. If they do have something here, then he either goes fights or he just comes and joins the fight the normal way. But if they have nothing at the back here, he can just come here. And now you have, you know, you want them to dump onto your 1 heavy tank. You catch if there's anything on their backside or behind them or whatever. They're leaving 1 guy behind. You then have double crossfire on your side of the ridge line. They can't stay on the top because of the CS. You just come and then you just come around and fight them again. And these guys can peek. So yeah, that's kind of it probably. Or you know, you can just play full topside against them and just have a fight. Yeah, it's up to you on how you want to do it. Yeah, let's go to some replays, I guess. Right, here is a strat from south. This is a bit different to what I've showed in the video, but I mean, you can take this opener if you want. I think I went quite heavy north here because I don't really have the lineup to play south, but I have 3 medium tanks, so I wanted to play it really. But I mean, it'd probably end up the same really. Other than spoiler alert, we come to like F7 with a few tanks. And it worked really well, so we wouldn't have that, I guess, this game, but I still think we'd be putting a lot of pressure on them to do something. Anyway, yeah, we head through south. We see a 277. I think we probably don't want to risk playing the hill, so we go back here, and I just tell my team put pressure on the cap. We get one guy C1, and we can just kind of chill from good positions and wait for their push really. Yeah, and like with the E50M and Hurricane here, we can kind of, if this VKK backs off, we can shoot him. Which will obviously shoot if they send anything across the mid, and we can shoot that 113, for example. Good punish on him. We get spotted, which is kind of unfortunate, because now they know we're here. Now we know that they were just sitting in base as an opener. I guess covering the VKK, I guess. And yeah, because we know there's two here, we know that this side is kind of weak. I mean, obviously they could push this side with tanks, but obviously they're under cap pressure. They need to go for the cap here. It'd be very dumb if they went south. And even then, it would be a 3v4 max. So it wouldn't be that bad. But yeah, anyway, like we have the I7 here that's spotting this repush. We have cap pressure now. This TP is just watching to help the BZ if something comes in. The E5 is also in a good position. Technically, you could bring the E5 and 60p up to the north here. Just sit here instead, but like these positions work fine as well. And you don't really want to be caught as well. But yeah, anyway, obviously cap pressure is getting a lot, down to 12 seconds now. They are having the YOLO in with their 113. Obviously our I7 is running, so it doesn't get caught. We catch the 277, obviously. And now we can shoot the 113 because he's not safe in the cap. VKK's position is very uncomfortable to play now. And yeah, we see the CS running as well. And we can punish him a lot. And the game is kind of over. Like, obviously, I mean, I don't see all health, but we are up 5k now, nearly. Yeah, not really much else to say in this game. We just picked up a 277 kind of for free. Technically, I guess he should have been in like K9 to watch this repush happening, but I would imagine he thought we weren't going to repush that. But yeah, now we obviously have all positions. I know we're down. Well, we're up only 2,000 now because I would imagine I see the I7's health and the 60DP's health. And obviously we lost a bit of health pushing through the mid there from the CS and maybe some people in the north. But yeah, the game is over really. 7v3. Yeah, not really much else to say now. Just finishing it off, so I guess I will speed up the replay a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's important, put that cap pressure on instantly. If you can repush the south, you should repush it. If not, you just sit on F7 and just punish them for coming back into their base. It's obviously very nice that we got the spot on this 113. I mean, he drove poorly. He should always probably be driving one line. But, not too bad. 7-0. No tank losses. Right, here is another opening. Obviously, it's not kind of the one I showed, but I thought I'd just show you kind of another kind of opening. Obviously, if you have a light tank, you should push him through mid, and he basically gets this spot off if they go straight, and we can punish him from F7 if we could hit our shots. But because we see 4 tanks now, we now know that they're most likely playing heavy north, and we can catch that 277, or the medium tanks that are going hill. With that Sheridan in the mid, obviously we have spots on full rotations. We have the VZ that also can punish, and the VZ in A5. He could be in A5, he could be in B7 as well, just to be a bit more safe. That's up to you. You probably should be, I guess, because there's only one tank there. Obviously, because they have 2 tanks on the hill, we're just going to repush it. Our light tank pushed through all the way through mid and has gone into their base to also shoot the chief in the back, and you know, if the medium tanks try and escape, we can shoot them from the Sheridan and the 260. And yeah, we will definitely catch these two medium tanks on the hill. Unless we don't see the Yudas dropping off from like H6, I guess, but like at least we'll catch one. They'll pressure to kill our VZs. And the Yudas is here, so yeah, unlucky for them. You know, now we kill this TVP, the Yudas has gone, oh fuck, there's 3 people I'm running. Though he's not doing very well at this running thing. But yeah, we just kill him. They obviously push into the VZ that's close to them. You could have said that maybe that VZ should have left earlier, but like it doesn't particularly matter. Obviously, we have them now in the middle of the fucking open. We just need to support that VZ from being pushed now. That's why having him on B7 probably might be better, because he definitely can't be repushed there. And yeah, it's just a chief going in the open. Now they've realized, oh fuck, we need to kill the VZ so we don't get spotted and crossfired anymore. But nice gun. But yeah, now we're in decent position still. I mean, the game is still kind of close. They all catch that VZ, but you know, I would say we're up in positions right now, and they're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and they should be punished for leaving where they are, really. And eventually we can probably get our angle back on that 60p in the cap. We just need to be careful with Kushti from getting killed, I guess, and peeked on. But like every time that 60p peeks on him, the Sheridan should shoot him, and the 5A will shoot him as well. But yeah, as you can see, we're taking back B7 now. Nice shot on the move. Just to get an angle on this TP that's in the cap, and eventually he will die from my angle, basically. So yeah, I mean now we're up 2k because we see all the health, and this guy is just dying. So just kind of GG. Obviously I need to hit the lower plate of a TP, but yeah, there we go. Very nice. Now we're up 4k. Very good. And yeah, now we can just slowly kill them all. Personally, this is why I prefer playing south. I feel like I can just control the game more than what I can if I went north. I feel like north I'm just forced into rotations. But with north, with playing south, there is a lot more options than what you can do. And, you know, if they play full north, I think being able to just completely surround them and just not allow them to cap is just, you will just win every game, hopefully, as long as people don't fuck up, you know. But yeah, you got to make sure that you're running from north in time. Obviously, I think this was maybe early into the campaign, and I kept on putting people in A5, but yeah, I think B7 is a much better location, and yeah, I mean, if they full push north, that guy in C4 is obviously a little more in danger and probably should run away back to like C5 or something below the ridgeline. But yeah, a pretty nice game. A lot of people are not ready for the repushes on the south, but yeah, nice game. Right, here is south side for Karelia. Again, it's just the split strat I showed you basically from north, the same kind of positions. Again, you just have this guy here to watch the A3 cross. You have this guy here to eventually take this, to watch this cross, watch that, watch what's up here. Dude, holy fuck, my dyslexia. You just have this guy just to cover, basically, if they like try and YOLO something, maybe they just try and YOLO down, you can shoot them and see, what happens, basically. Or you just shoot them coming and then try and run away if you can. Most teams will never just YOLO this, really. And as I said, if they come here with 2, you can just come back to the side of the rock and you're safe, basically. So yeah, again, you're just pushing the south. If this is obviously if they're going full north. This guy should be watching if they are coming back to the base. If they're not coming back to the base, then you can just take this with like your medium tank, and the other 3 heavies can come closer like this. If they put a guy in the cap, you can just dump into this dip and come here, and you get a shot. If not, the CS can come all the way out here and also get a shot. But normally, like a heavy tank here can spot it. I think he should have this the cross. I think it's like here. You can basically see there's another straight line. You basically see it here, I think, and the guy can't hide. So, you can take that position or somewhere back here and also shoot it. So I don't know. You end up something like this, really, I guess. You have the guy here just to protect if the YOLO push, and it's basically the same thing. You try and put this guy into the cap, and you put cap pressure on them. You might come closer with this medium tank if you're feeling emboldened. Normally what I do is I normally bring these heavy tanks under and start re-pushing my side of the hill and come up to here, especially if they have a guy in D1. You can normally just like approach this normally unspotted and just pressure up them and just kill him normally. Because you'll have this guy in support. This guy can either join, so you have 4 there, or just be here for crossfire. You have this guy here and here, so if they want to YOLO this, they have to push into this dip. This guy can run away if needed, and you have full north control. So yeah, that's kind of the strat again. If they have a guy in mid, like a CS, and they're sitting in base, again, like the i7 or whatever you're sending here, that needs to be somewhat quick, might just blow up. But that's just nature of 7v7 kind. Sometimes if they open a better strat than you, or open a different, it's not really a counter, but they just counter you, I guess. Yeah, you just minus 1 tank from the beginning. But yeah, you get unlucky, but at that point you just probably just take the hill again and see what they do. It depends on obviously how much they have north. They might just have 2 here, and then you can start capping on this side and retake the north with some of your team or something. But yeah, that would be the counter for the strat. If they come south, again, you're just seeing how much they come south with. If you think you can fight it, you can fight it. If you can get up to the hill without getting punished, then I would go up the hill, because it's just free info. And yeah. If you see 1 CS in the corner, you're probably fine just to take the hill or just go straight after him and hope they're not just baiting you into their whole team. But yeah, you'll see, I guess. I mean, you could even swap these 2 guys around, so you have an early spot on the north. It depends on how fast this heavy tank you're sending. If this heavy tank is like a TP or something, you won't have enough time to get there, so like you'll have to send a medium tank here. But if it's like an i7 260 or something, you're having like a full stacked lineup with 260s or whatever, you can send like the fast heavy tank here to spot this cross. But yeah, if it's they're slower than probably like an E5, or you probably want to send a medium tank there. But yeah, that's kind of the strat. I don't think I'll go over it in much more detail because I kind of went over everything from north side. Right, here's the next strat. Again, it's just a very simple north strat if you have a slower team lineup. Again, if they don't come north to fight you, you're just probably putting 1 guy in the cap. You're pressuring this out probably with some tanks. Might even just be 4, just so you have that safe guy here. Maybe this guy comes and just sits here as well, or he can rotate and come to here, and this guy joins. But yeah, normally you just want to put some cap pressure on and pressure this out so your guy is safe. And yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, you can play it more passively if you want. Like, if for some reason you don't think you can go into the cap, then I guess you can just sit here and wait to slowly die, probably, or be pressured out. So I would always probably take the initiative and pressure this out yourself with probably, I would say, 4 tanks if they're fast enough. I mean, obviously, if you have like, I don't know, if you have like 3 100s, then like GG, bro, like unlucky map for you. And you might have to sit. I mean, you can maybe sit more defensively instead of pressuring it out all the way. You can maybe go like here with some tanks and stay here with the tank, and I don't know, guy in cap, guy here, and sit like this maybe. But eventually they'll come to your base. I would need to check this position again, but I think you're safe from base until they come up to like here, and then they can get resets. So you'll be pressured to to go back to this. So yeah, it's a bit of a annoying side. I think north side's a lot better for playing north, but yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, obviously, again, if they come full north, you just have a fight. I'm not going to go over that again. Same thing kind of just applies from the north side to south. So, just make crossfires, decide which side you want to push over, and focus fire a tank and murder him if you can. Um, yeah, I mean, that's quite quick, but I feel like I don't need to explain anything more, really. Right, here is a replay, or I guess video, or replay of south side now. Obviously, our lineup is not amazing. I think this is probably our third day without resetting. So, our tanks are less than optimal, but, it still shows, I guess, the strat can definitely still work. We go south with 4 medium tanks, obviously. The Blisker goes to, the rock to spot the A3 cross. And technically, the Chief should probably start going under to E3 now. I probably should have gone there from the beginning after our medium tank saw nothing, but I mean, I guess he gets a punish. You do need to be worried now. Now you're seeing more tanks. You don't need to push out the north with as many. Just one is enough, probably, with this. Yeah, 6 tanks are spotted. So one should be enough. I mean, 2 max if you're worried that they might go back with something. But definitely should start probably sending the other two medium tanks close to the 1-1B to get a shot. But as you can see, we can also see this BZ from this angle. So I tell everyone to aim up and we can shoot them all at the same time, and everyone misses. So, you love it when a plan comes together. But, good gun handling of all these medium tanks. But yeah, there we go. They obviously know that we're full behind them now, so they probably will repush the one line. But, that Blisker is basically completely safe. This 1-1B went to here, and he's not safe either from behind him. So we should farm him up as well. So we basically get like 3k health for kind of for free, really, on these people. And because they are pressuring one line, or we see that a lot of them one line, we send one medium tank to the south to, make sure they're not able to push all the way through. But obviously the Sturv got spotted randomly in the north here, so we are pressuring him with 2 now. Well, 3 technically, just to make sure he dies, because we're kind of in no rush of anything, so it's okay to send 3 tanks up here. Obviously, if the cap was closer, we'd probably have to send something to reset the BZ, but don't need to, basically, now. But now, I mean, obviously they have a lot of health. They have double BZ TP, double E5, a lot more health than us. So even though the health looks, 1k down, I think we've probably done like 4k damage to them. So the trade is definitely much better in our favor. Now the cap is getting a bit more interesting. You do have a shot there. I don't know who reset him there, but I do have shots and eventually will kill him. If I could hit the Karelia, there we go. Thankfully, the kin anyone does. Stov is in the middle of nowhere. We will kill him very shortly. The 1-1B is also in low health and kind of in the middle of nowhere, and they all got stuck on the D1 rock because, well, they're quite slow heavy tanks and they didn't want to push all the way to G1 to try and kill the crossfire. If that E4 was on E1, they probably would have definitely pushed all the way to E1, but it depends how well you think that trade would have gone. I mean, pushing into a Blisk, or pushing through a Blisker into an E4 with maybe the Chief helping, it would have probably been okay still, but the game would have been closer. You also lose a tank for that as well. You lose at least the E4. So, especially at this point where we want to keep tanks alive on, probably our last hour before we reset, you want to keep your decent tanks alive for as long as you can. And, obviously we didn't see health in the beginning, but we're up 3k now. So to say they had this many heavy tanks and we had this many medium tanks with double TD, they were probably like 3k up in the beginning, probably. To say it's a 7v7 match, that is quite insane. But yeah, another game we're just showing you the control that you can have when you are playing south is just phenomenal, and they can't really do anything other than probably go back to their base instantly when they see nothing crossing one line. But you also see nothing crossing one line, so you're wary of them coming back to the base. So yeah, another nice game. Right, here's another replay from south. It's a bit more of a normal setup than our normal opening, as I've shown on the strats. One going D3 and double tank going to the north, though you could make say that the 260 should have gone to the rock on D3 to spot the cross, but I mean he's so fast anyway that he sees the D3 cross from that ramp anyway, technically, so technically it's fine. And now we're waiting to see where the enemy team is. Obviously, we don't want to push into the zero line if we see nothing. See one tank going north. There's another tank here. Still just kind of seeing where the rest of the team is. There's another one. Another one. Okay, now probably zero line is probably the play. Yeah, definitely. Now there's definitely the players to go south. And push out the zero line with the four of us probably just to secure it. And yeah, now they can't really push anything out. But if they go to F8 now, like we did in the North replays, like we should, because they're so slow, we should be able to just murder them from angles. I think the 260 will have an angle, the 60p will have an angle, and yeah, we should be fine. Obviously, we have the Leo on the hill still. You could 50-50 that. He could also be coming with us to make sure he dies. I don't know how this. I guess I thought that you just lost all of his health pushing through the middle of the open to come back, and yeah, it's kind of helpful, obviously, to have that 260 angle that I think he can kill this 430U. Obviously, the CS I think took a shot in the beginning, so he was a bit lower health, so that means our CS can pressure him. But like, if he was full health, I would have just sent Axe after him, and he would have died regardless. Again, a lot of people in scenario, they don't know what to do. There's no real good play anymore because all their heavy tanks are stuck in the north. I mean, they did rotate one, which that is kind of bad for us, but we still have 3 here, so we're fine. We can reinforce the CS if we want. That is important. Like, they might be coming back, so the CS should always probably go to A0 instead of, A9, like here first. Because, if he was here, he probably gets peeked on. And they did come back, to be fair. So that was probably their only play to make the game possible to win. But obviously, we left the hill quick enough with our Leo to where this push just shouldn't work. We now have 4 here versus their 3. Obviously, I'm low health, but like it's fine. I'm a heavy tank. I have a bit more health to spare, and yeah, now it's just kind of game over. Getting that free kill on the 430U because he crossed in the open was very nice. If he was like sitting there at the beginning, it would have been a lot more painful. If he was full health, we might have to send someone after him. We might have to send 2 after him, maybe. Though technically 1 might have been enough because we have the 260 helping from behind. But yeah, that would be a problem. If there was 2 in F7, you definitely lose a zero line push. But obviously, we knew there was nothing. Oh, we knew there wasn't 2 people there, so it's fine. But yeah, just another nice game. Like, I think this is like another game where we barely lost any tanks. This is why another reason I like this strat of going nice Amarak. Another nice reason to go south. I think that you will lose a lot less tanks in this strat. Obviously, this strat takes a lot more minutes. I think we got down to 5 minutes 48. So obviously, it takes 4 minutes for you to win, which is like okay. But not like amazing time usage. But yeah, if you want to go for time, it's probably just full north. But south, you will lose a lot less tanks, I think. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.